Simon YouTube, and welcome back to another TCGO battle on the channel. It has been a very long time, but we're going to be trying to get this series back up and running. I think I fixed the issue that I was having, but if it shows up again, I'll let you guys know. Anyway, today we are taking on the Sketchy Smeargle, so a link will be in the description to not only their half of the battle, but their link to YouTube as well, so make sure to check them out. But we are going to send that invite right now. Whoop. All decks? No. Yeah, maybe all decks. I know it's up at the front. There we go. I know it's a little bit of tardiness there, but we are using the Audino Championship deck. We're testing it out. And here we go. There goes the invitation. We're going to see just how long this takes. They're on the other side recording as well, so if they're still doing the intro to their video, it might take a couple seconds. But here we go. Hopefully, we'll have a fantastic match. It's best 2 out of 3, so we could get 2 games, could get 3 games, depending on how long, or depending on how the games go. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut here, and once we get into the battle, I'll bring us back in. And here we go, guys. Game number 1, we're seeing, it looks like Night March. It really does. It looks like a Night March deck. We're going to get the coin toss here. We're going to call tails, and do we get it? Yes, we do. We're going to go first here. Because Audino does like to get that initiative, that immediate startup. Unfortunately, our only Pokemon is a Hoopa. They have to mulligan though, but we have a terrible start. Terrible start. You might hear a little bit of stuff. I have to have the window open. Let's see here. We see a Raichu Circle Circuit. Interesting. Circle Circuit's really nice. They do have a starting lineup though. We're going to get an additional card here though, and that will put us possibly in a benefit. Depending on, of course, what I have to use to get ourselves into a good position, because this is the worst possible opening for us. Hoopa would at least go and get us another Shaman or something to keep ourselves going. Unfortunately, Hoopa is currently in the active position, and I don't have a way to get any EXs other than Sycamoring. So hopefully we can pull something. There we go. We are going to draw an additional card. We got an Audino, so that is one good thing to start with. We have no other bench Pokemon, so we see a Mew in the active position. We're going to simply attach an Audino Spirit Link, a Steel Energy, and I'm going to go for an N. I think I got to go for an N, because I don't want to waste the Mega Audino just yet. And yes, I know I had it in my hand, but I needed a good way to get out of there. And fortunately, at the moment, there isn't much I can do. Trainer's Mail, let's see what we can get. See if I can get ourselves an Ultra Ball, which I do believe we can. So we are not out of this just yet. I'm going to actually decide to go to eliminate the Steel Energy for the simple fact of I have a Mega Turbo in the deck. I can easily get ourselves going here using that Mega Turbo to get the additional energy onto the Audino. Of course, when it Mega Evolves. So we're going to draw 4 more cards here. We have the Mega Turbo. Unfortunately, we're not a Mega Evolution Pokemon. We are in a pretty decent position. I am going to Trainer's Mail one more time. And I'm going to grab the Hex Maniac for next turn. So we are in a bit of a disadvantage here. You can not go for much of anything. You can just go for an encounter at the moment. But we'll probably be set up for Audino if I can get that Mega Audino next turn, which I should be with the Ultra Ball. We are seeing the Sky Field, which means our benches are going to be huge now. The only thing I have is Parallel City, which does counter this deck very hard. We see an Audino EX as well coming from our opponent, which means that they'll be able to go for a Wake Up Slap? Drain Slap, I apologize. They're going for a Shauna and a Skarmory drop. Are we seeing Rainbow Xerneas? Could it be a Rainbow Road that we're actually facing here? I'm not sure. But I think Blow Through, if there's the stadium, this does 30 more damage. So we can take 60 damage right now at the most. Because of the Skarmory being on the field. There goes the Blow Through. Because there's a stadium, we're going to take 60. Oh! Never mind, we're taking 120. Hoopa might go down rather quick. But I can set up the Audino right now. We're going to Ultra Ball. We're going to remove... I'm going to take the guess and remove the... I'm going to ditch the Hex Maniac. I'm going to get my Mega Audino going. We're going to Mega Evolve here. I have the Mega Turbo set up so I can get my turn 2 attack going. And all I needed is an escape rope to get myself out of here. I do get it. I get an AZ as well. We're going to go for that escape rope though, and we're going to be able to bring Mega Audino in, getting a lot of damage off on either one of her 2 Pokemon, either knocking out the Skarmory or really damaging that Audino. She's going to bring out the Skarmory, and we're going to simply go into our Mega Audino. We're going to go for that Magical Symphony, and I'm going to get double knockouts here. I'm going to take out the Skarmory and push her back by getting rid of the double colorless and the Mew. So we're going to be 2 prizes up already. 2 knockouts on 1 turn. Turn 2, 2 knockouts, and we have forced our opponent into an Audino versus Mega Audino battle. This is actually kind of cool. But it's going to be a very quick game. Now, all I have to do is continuously use my supporters properly, and I'll be okay here. So we see an N, which is a problem because it does remove a lot of my resources. But I'm going to get 4 cards here. I have a VS Seeker, which means I can go back for any one of my other supporters. A Fighting Fury Belt on the Audino means it's not going to Mega Evolve, but we're going to take 30. It's going to increase to 30, but that's okay. I'm going to drop another Audino, get another one started here, dropping a double colorless energy, and I'm going to go for a VS Seeker. I just want to simply go for the Sycamore. I'm not worried about these 2 Ultra Balls at this point. I can probably grab a Mega Audino from the deck here. I don't, but that's also okay. I can go for a Trainer's Mail, see if there's a VS Seeker, which is great. And I'll continuously go for that Trainer's Mail by getting a... I'm going to get the AZ. This way I can scoop up that Hoopa or get the Shaman up. I'm going to try and take away her prize possibilities. And we're going to go for a Magical Symphony here. It's going to be 110 damage against the Fighting Fury Belt, which would put it at 220. So it's just in range of a double hit from the Mega Audino. It's not going to save for too long here. And she's going to be able to go for Do the Wave, which is going to do 60 plus 10. And she doesn't have any Pokemon on the bench, so unfortunately, there we go, another Audino. So it's going to do 80 damage. 90 damage now. There's a Shaman, so she's going to get a ton of Pokemon here. He, she, I'm not sure. I apologize. I've been calling it a she. It's a male avatar. Why am I calling it a she? I have no idea. It's a he. It's a he. Drops a Combee. There's a lot of Pokemon potential here, but it's also setting him up for a lot of possibilities here for me to take easy prizes. Combee is at a very easy HP that I can knock it out with Magical Symphony as well. And they're setting up the Combee again, which could be cool, but unfortunately it'll be an easy knockout for me. But Do the Wave is going to do 100 damage, putting me at 130. Not enough to even do a max damage to me. It's not really scary at the moment, but I'm going to get the knockout on the Audino and the Combee. I'm going to go for the energy drop on the Audino, and I'm going to pick up the Hoopa. I'm not threatened by Hoopa going back down because he does have that 170 HP. We are going to go for 3 Pokemon EX if I can, and I just want to go for the 1 Audino. This has a secondary attacker now going for us. And because I've used a supporter this turn, I'm going to go for the Magical Symphony, which is going to knock out the Audino in the front, and I'm going to get that Combi in the back, negating all possible ways of attacking for high damage next turn. So we're going to take 2 from the Audino, and 1 prize for the Combi. We are at a 1 prize difference here. Brings up the Shaman, which is not a good play because this is going to just showcase that they're pretty much giving this game up. We have a bunch of different attackers here. We have the Cabalion here just in case for whatever reason we are at a deficit in prize count. The Cabalion can come up, go for the Revenge Blast for a simple 2 energies. We get a Lysander here. Brings up our Hoopa, but that's alright. I have an AZ in the back, able to go for the Hoopa to bring it back up, and then I can just simply put in my new fresh Audino, and that should be game. We see a Psychic and a Psychic for the hand, and I do believe that's a pass. Oh, there's an Ultra Ball. I apologize. Sacrificing one of those energies and the Vespa Queen. We're going to see what come up. We're going to see what come up. A Pikachu, starting up for that good old circle circuit. It's not going to matter, though. It's not going to matter. At this point, Shaman is in range of being knocked out, and unless they switch out right now into the Audino, it's pretty much game. So I'm just going to AZ, which is a bonus, because I don't have to waste any of my other supporters. I can go right into my Mega Audino. I've used a supporter for the turn. I can go for that Magical Symphony, take out the Shaman, and it'll do additional damage to Pikachu. It won't knock it out. But that is the first game. We do claim game number 1. We're going to go into game number 2, though, because you know this is a best 2 of 3, and I'll be right back with that one. Alright, guys, game number 2. We are continuing on with our track here. Hopefully, game number 2 will have a little bit more on their side. I know there's a lot of possibilities in their deck for huge potential. We are going to get another win on this, so we are going to take first place. We're going to take turn 1. I should have given them the option, but I have another terrible opening hand, and our opponent has no basics again. We are going to set ourselves up here. We see energies galore and trainers galore. No Pokemon at all. We have a ton of options here, though. We have the N, we have the Sycamore, so we aren't out of the loop here. I'm interested to see what Pokemon they got this time. They are starting... Yes, I'd love an additional card. We get a Floatstone, which is actually really good. And the Audino to start. That is awesome. We're going to drop that down. Drop down the Audino Spirit Link and a double colorless energy. Put down a Floatstone. I can save Shaman up there for next turn, as I simply go for a Sycamore, trying to get our hand into a better position. If I get an AZ, which I did, I can bring Shaman back up. This is for basic? Yes. Alright. I know I'm going to go for the AZ on the following turn, so I can ditch the Sycamore, and I don't need the Mega Turbo at this point. I might be hindering that a little soon, but I'm going to get rid of it for now. I'm going to grab the Magearna. The Magearna's not necessary. Oh, sorry. I need the Hoopa. I need the Hoopa. Getting out of myself. Going for that Hoopa. I'm going to place the Hoopa down, and this will get me 3 EX Pokemon. Let's see here. I need 1 Mega Audino. I'm going to grab the other Audino, and I don't want... I'm going to grab the Magearna. You know what? Let's do it. It'll stop us from getting paralyzed or anything like that. I'm not sure what's in the deck my opponent's facing yet, so it'll be good for us to get a ton of options going. But that is going to be our first turn. I'm going to leave Shaman up front. Our opponent cannot do 110 damage, and like I said, I'll be able to AZ that up. Get that out of the way. Benefit from its setup ability on the following turn, as we start to set up and actually possibly knock out the Skarmory next turn. Depending on what our opponent places, it could be a huge turn in our favor. But turn 2 Audino is very consistent here. I've done a lot of practice games in between this battle and the deck reveal. And to be honest with you, it's done huge work. Like, turn 2 Audino is, Mega Audino is not uncommon. Like, you get it pretty much every turn, every game. We do see an Ultra Ball here. I wonder what they're going into. Now, they ditched a Lysander for this, so they probably are running via Seekers, so it's alright. We are currently having a Xerosic, a couple Sycamores, and an N. Like I said, though, I will be using the AZ on the following turn, so this will give us the opportunity to drop Shaman down and get a couple more cards into our hand. Grabs the Raichu. I might actually benefit from using an Escape Rope instead of picking up the Shaman. I might still pick up the Shaman just with the AZ because I can. We see a double colorless energy drop onto the Skarmory, pulls out the Lysander. Who's he going for? The Magearna. Well, guess I have to go for that Escape Rope. Gonna do only 30 damage though. We do see a Shaman drop, so this is gonna let them set up. Lets them draw 5 cards, I believe it was. I know one of those cards left in their hand is a Raichu, so cannot evolve this turn. And I'm not too threatened by the blow through. It is only 30 damage to Magearna at this moment in time. Ultra Ball lets them grab another Pokemon. Ditching what though is a question. In those kind of decks where they have a ton of Pokemon, they need to make sure that they have the right ones in their hand at all time, and I can see that he's trying to get those particular mons going. Probably the Audino got rid of the Comb because he knew that was an easy knockout for me. Gets another Raichu. I don't understand that play, ditching a Raichu for a Raichu. But we'll see what happens here. Maybe just trying to get the card slot down? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Going for a Call for Family. This could be very bad for them depending on the threats that they bring in. Brings an Audino and an Audino. Okay, that's good for them because that is 2 major threats that I'm going to have to deal with. I'm going to drop the Steel Energy onto the Audino though. I'm going to Mega Evolve. And we're going to Escape Rope. I'm not threatened by the Skarmory. I'm interested to see what they bring in between the Audinos, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put pressure on those Audinos right away. I'm going to put 110 damage on one. They're going to ante up their Shaman and let me take an easy 2 prizes. And to be honest with you, I'm okay with this. I'm going to bring up the Shaman. I do have to ditch the Floatstone, which is a negative to AZ, but it's alright. We are going to go for that great old draw. We get the Audino Spirit Link, and this means next turn I'll be able to evolve. Next turn? No, I played it last turn. I'm going to ditch the Lysander and Steel Energy, and I can get that Mega Audino now. And I can place that Mega Audino. Now that I've got that Spirit Link on, I'm simply ready to start setting that mon up, and we're going to be in a pretty decent position here. I'm going to go for that Magical Symphony, putting pressure on one of those Audinos. Because those are going to be the prizes that I need to knock out. We're going to take 2 prizes here, Pokemon Center Lady and an Absol. Absol is going to be very crucial depending on the situation we're in. If they bring up the Raichu, it's only going to do what? 20, 40, 60 damage from the Circle Circuit. I could be wrong. And we'll be able to knock it out, putting more pressure on that Audino, or we can easily Lysander up the Audino and start to knock it out. So the Pikachu does come up. Again, not threatened too much by it. Goes into the Raichu. No energy onto it, but we do know that there's going to be a double colorless energy here. Circle Circuit's going to do 60 damage. Just enough for Pokemon Center Lady to heal it all off, knock out the Raichu, no threat there, and we'll be able to put damage on the additional Audino. The reason for that is so that I can, regardless of which one comes up, I'll be able to one-shot it. We see a Shauna as the supporter, looking for more potential bench mons to increase that damage output. But it doesn't look like he got it. Goes for an Ultra Ball here. What are they ditching? A Lysander and a Psychic Energy. Okay. So probably goes for a Skarmory. Most likely going to play it to up the damage of Circle Circuit. And Circle Circuit's going to do 80 damage. Thankfully, though, I have the Pokemon Center Lady in the back. I don't need the Audino Spirit Link, and I don't need to use the Absol just yet. We're going to go for that Double Colorless Energy drop on the Mega Audino. And at this point, I'm going to Pokemon Center Lady up my Mega Audino. This way I've used a supporter for the turn. I'm going to go for the Magical Symphony to take out the Raichu. And we're going to put 50 damage on this particular Audino. And again, this way I can guarantee to knock one out next turn. We're only going to get one prize here, which is a Trainer's Mail. Not too necessary at this point. Brings up the Skarmory. Again, though, I have a VS Seeker in hand, so I can guarantee to knock out one of those fantastic little Audinos there, and I'll be able to gain 2 prizes from that, and it'll just be a 1 prize deficit from there. We see a Fighting Fury Belt on one of the Audinos. We see an N, which is actually terrible for us at this point because we lose our Absol, which is the one card that I did need. We have an Ultra Ball, though, which might put us back in the game. A Substitute comes onto the field, which would naturally, I believe, increase the damage output for Circle Circuit without having the cost of a Pokemon go down. But the question is they just going to go for a Call for Family or a Blow Through? Blow Through will do a natural 60 damage to us. Natural 60 damage. But we are not in range of knocking out any of the Pokemon at this moment in time. We can knock out the Skarmory. My best bet is probably to Ultra Ball for a Shaman. Depending on the draw I get. Blow Through is going to do 60 damage. And our draw is going to be a VS Seeker, which is actually quite handy. So we are going to Ultra Ball away the Super Rod and the Steel Energy. We're going to look for that Shaman, if it's still in here, which it is, and this will up my hand, hopefully grabbing that Absol. But I didn't want to put myself at in a bad position. I am not threatened by Skarmory. I do want to take those 2 prizes, though, from the good old Audino there. So I'm going to Lysander now. This way I can benefit from getting an additional card. And we're just going to grab that Audino, bring it up, and we are going to Shaman. This will give us 6 cards. We see a Trainer's Mail, another Audino, which will just drop right here, and a couple Trainer's Mail. Let's see if I can get an Ultra Ball. I get a Sycamore, which is fine. And we get a Floatstone. That's alright. I can keep the Floatstone in my hand based on situations. We are set up to knock out pretty good Mon next turn. We're going to go for that Magical Symphony. It's going to do 110 damage, and we're going to put Skarmory in range. Because, as I said, I only need... Oh, I didn't knock out this Audino. I apologize. I apologize indeedy. But I put him in a bad position because he doesn't have a way to get that Pokemon out. He does just pass that turn. And I do believe, guys, that is going to be game here. We're just going to have to go for... We're just going to drop the Hex Maniac. This way, no abilities go off. My Magical Symphony is going to do the max damage for the Audino EX. And we're going to knock out that Skarmory, gaining us the 3 prize deficit that we need to win game number 2. Guys, that is a 2-game, 4-time. We are the victors in this one. But, again, great playing from JDT. Sketchy Smeargle. Played a fantastic game. There are a couple moves, I'll admit, that I was a little surprised on. The main one being the ditch a Raichu for a Raichu. I'm not sure on that move. But, you know what? They played a fantastic game. They tried their hardest. And they came out and supported TCG Battles. So make sure to check them out. Again, like I said, I believe their side of the match is going to go up live as well. We're trying to get this one together, so we'll see how all that works out. But that is all for today, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode. But until then, time out.